So here's an STB1 game from the 8.11 first iteration of the test. You can see lots of people testing tier 10 tank destroyers. The more overpowered the better. I quite like the STB. It's a very interesting tank. It's like if you took a T62A and a Leopard and kind of smushed them together into the same thing. It's got that interesting pancake turret, but it also has good gun depression and good general mobility at the expense of hull armor. See, it's not too slow at 50 kilometers an hour top speed, 10 degrees of gun depression, equal best in tier 10 with the FV4202. So, doing my usual Muravanka encounter thing, I'm coming to this spot to try and get hull down and get some quick spotting in, maybe get some shots. I actually push further up than I normally would on the live server, simply because there's so many TDs and not enough fast mediums on the enemy team to spot me that easy. Find a bunch of stuff in town, which is bizarre, but I'm not going to complain. Immediately get to work on the first thing I have shots on, which is the Carnarvon. Looking for one on the 183, he gets tagged by somebody else. 140 is behind hard cover. Foch is also behind hard cover, and I lose sight of him, but the Carnarvon is a very obliging target, so I just can't say no. This tank uses an L7A1 copy. I believe it's a license-built Japanese version of it or something. Basically the same sort of gun stats you could expect from any L7A1 armed tank. The accuracy and gun handling isn't as good as the Leopard, but better than the Centurions, I think. Well, not accuracy, but the gun handling I think is better than the Centurions. The DPM is excellent. Again, I don't think it's quite as good as Leopard's. It's close. Actually, I think it's almost the same. This thing was nerfed before it was introduced to the live game because it was actually kind of replacing the Leopard. Almost was overperforming a bit. Of course, that was the same patch where the Waffenträger made it in without any nerfs whatsoever. So, go figure. So I'm looking for shots on the Foch here, or the Object 140. It's not really happening. Both teams have lost a lot of tanks that just kind of derped into town like morons. So I'm trying to play my gun depression a little here, and my camo. This thing has quite good camo. And just leverage my mobility to find targets and get some hits in without dying. With that many TDs, I'm very, very wary of being spotted. So, targets are lit. The guy next to me gets hit. Actually, our E50M turns blue because he puts a shot into the Leopard one, presumably by accident. It seemed like it was an accident. I think the Leopard drove in front of his shot. Looking for the Object 140, still no shots. He's behind, I think, a tank wreck and a building, as if one isn't enough. He's not my problem anyway. I need to work this flank a bit. I've got a Leopard and an E50M here to help me, but the E50M is suicidal. So I managed to creep up on the Foch without being lit. Or actually, no, not without... No, without being lit, sorry. I keep forgetting I don't have 6th Sense on this tank, because I don't have a good Japanese crew yet. But I got all the way up to him before he spotted me, but he didn't get a chance to shoot. So I get one shot into the 140 finally. And see, I'm still using auto-aim, probably more than I should, just for snapshots. It's actually, on the test server I can kind of excuse it a bit because of my ping. I kind of need it at times just to ensure my gun is actually pointed where I think it is. So I get one quick shot into the T62A. Now, it's not a situation I really want to be in, so I try and put some hill between myself and him so I can use my gun depression. Thankfully, our bat chat takes care of him for me. So now, it's pretty much even. We have 3 tier 10 tank destroyers and 3 tier 10 mediums versus 5 tier 10 tank destroyers and a tier 10 heavy. I managed to get a shot through the 183's turret while Patton gets fist fucked. I get another one through there. I'm not sure where that... I must have hit right on the the gun trunnion or something, because he had his turret turned to the side. Looks very close to hitting where the mantlet would be. So I'm looking for a target here. Our Batchat is scooting down the inside here. The Patton's looking out to the field to try and spot he does. Gets a shot into the 183. Foch is also lit and not looking, so I try and get a quick shot into the side armor of the Foch, which is very thin. Unfortunately he turns. I go for the rangefinder, but it's just not happening. Move up a little, just keeping the hill between myself and him, and then I see this. This guy wants a piece of me. He's hesitant though, because he knows I can finish him off in 2 shots. Even if I low roll, I can kill him in 2 hits. He doesn't want that, so he's sort of poking up and down, trying to catch me unawares. It's not going to happen. We've lost our pattern, so it's just myself and the bat spotting for RTDs, who are not in the best positions. You'll notice we have one in C1. That is one of our 183s. Keep an eye on him. So it's a very sort of slow game of trying to bait the 183s over the hill, and bait them into cresting. I decide I'm sick of this, so I work my way back around. I decide to come at them from the outside if I can. See, the gun depression in this tank is quite excellent. The STB in general is a very well-rounded tank. It's a bit less specialised than the Leopard, so it's probably going to be a bit more friendly to the average player than the Leopard is. Its turret armor is actually semi-reliable. So the 183, one of them is one-shottable. I risk a snapshot, auto-aimed, it works. The other one is still 2-shottable. Bat's still alive, so I'm trying to work my way around. Unfortunately, their Foch 155 gets a line on our Foch 155 and makes that happen. The 183 was momentarily distracted. I was thinking of diving on him, but unfortunately the distraction doesn't last. This does, however. Our Batchat drives in, gets spotted, and then that I think was an HE shell. I don't think that was Hesh. Maybe it hit my track. I guess a Hesh shell hitting my track could do that, but either way, that should have really killed me if he'd aimed properly. Batchat drives out. A thing I wish he hadn't done, because the enemy Foch, of course, was just shooting into J3 before, and is still aiming that way. I'm looking for a shot on him, but there's just too many buildings in the way. Our Batchat does notice him and dives into cover in K2 behind the house there. I decide we'll just cap out and force them to come out, because I don't know where those other 2 TDs are. Again, I'm playing on test, no mods, no XVM, don't know where the enemy tanks were last spotted because I was too busy fighting to pay attention. I can see our 183 has not fucking moved for the last several minutes. And if I solo cap, or try and solo cap this, it's just not going to happen. They're going to rush me before I can finish capping, especially now that's happened. Our Batchat suicides out. Straight into a loaded Foch. So, I think I was typing right here. Yep. I tell the 183 to get on cap. I'm not sure if that's the exact correct syntax or anything I'm using, but I know that word means cap in the context of World of Tanks. So, the guy's Russian, or should speak Russian at least, or understand it because he's playing on the RU cluster. I just told him in Russian, get on the cap, and he's not doing it. So it's not just NA pubbies that like to actively throw games because they're scared of getting their tank scratched. Of course, the inevitable happens, the Foch drives around, spots me, and I whip my shot. The 183 manages to save me, but it's too late. I've already taken a hit I couldn't afford to, my ammo rack is gone, my repair kit's already been used. At this point, a stiff breeze will kill me. Not only that, the 183 was lit and has not moved, so you'll see what that results in. Oh look what's there, the most overpowered thing currently in the game. You'll notice it's missing 200 hit points from its total because it was nerfed. Now when I say nerfed, I mean it only in the vaguest sense. It's still overpowered as fuck. It's just slightly less overpowered as fuck. I take a chance trying to run for cover and it doesn't work out. Had I been able to get to cover, I would have been able to win this quite handily because the E4 is frankly put a pile of garbage. Now here's our 183. He's missing most of his health from the encounter with the Waffenträger. You can see how fast that thing took out his health before he was able to finally kill it. And that was after it's had its gun handling nerfed. And then of course the E4 bags him. He could have possibly one-shot the E4 if he aimed well and used Hesh, or even AP. But he didn't because he's bad, and he may have even still been on reload. I wasn't counting. But there you go. Was a winnable game. He could plainly tell what was needed to win. He threw the game. It's a test server, so really I shouldn't get wound up about it, but even though it's a test server and you know it's not for real, so to speak, it's still frustrating when you really, really play quite well and then your shit puppies throw the match.